say they need your father to give us his son. They say they need a champion, and you are the one. Son of the great Harry Fumba. Son of the soil to Liberia. May the Almighty bless Africa. They say they need it now. They say they need humanity, and you can show them how. They say they need your father to give us his son of the great Harry Fumba. Son of the soil to Liberia. May the Almighty bless Africa. Land of the love that I just stop ahead. Winds of change and they are blowing away. Blowing away. We can see our children growing right to the sky. Right to the sky. Son of the great Harry Fumba. Son of the soil to Liberia. May the Almighty bless Africa. Land of the love that I'm dreaming of. God bless Moniba. God bless Liberia. God bless Africa. God bless Moniba. God bless Liberia. God bless Africa. La 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 Liberia.
My fellow Liberians, our country cannot succeed unless the people of Liberia succeed. The truth is, the Liberia we live in right now is hurting, and we cannot continue down this road. But if we have faith and new political leadership dedicated to working to ensure that Liberia takes its rightful place as a leading nation in Africa, then the suffering of our people will not be the end of our story, merely the beginning. We must decide what type of nation we want to live in, what type of standards we want to set for ourselves, and what type of dreams we want to invest in that will ensure Liberia is the greatest country on the African continent. A new Liberia with modern hospitals in every single district in our country, so that Liberians do not die from preventable diseases and a lack of good and affordable care. A new Liberia with the best schools, well-paid teachers, and well-fed students. A new Liberia that ensures that we will be self-sufficient in our staple food of rice, while having renewed infrastructure that will include the pavement of modern roads to all of our county capitals. We must believe that change is here. And in this new Liberia, we will have practical change that will be both seen.
Okay, let me say good afternoon to you, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, however you are joining us. We'd like to welcome you to today's edition of the program, the New Liberia Hour, right? The New Liberia Hour is a 1 hour, 30 minutes program that comes to you every Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturday at about this time. So wherever you are, however you are joining us, we'd like to say welcome. My name is Ambassador Konah Rufus. I'm right here in this Kusi studio, making sure that we bring you this program. So wherever you are, however you are joining us, those of you following us on our YouTube channel, those of you on our Facebook page, we'd like to say welcome. This is West Coast TV Liberia, right? And this program is the New Liberia Hour. The New Liberia Hour, like I said, is the 1 hour, 30-minute programs that focuses on the agenda of the Liberia National Union and Dr. Clarence Moniba. So on this program, we dig deep into the agenda of Dr. Clarence P. Moniba. What are those things he hoped to achieve when he should have been elected as president of the Republic of Liberia? And what are those things that he's bringing, those new things he's bringing to the table? Because as you may be aware, there are lots of candidates in these elections. From the incumbent, we have about 20 persons that are contesting for the presidency. So this program is intended to dig deep into the agenda of the Liberia National Union headed by Dr. Clarence P. Moniba. So, so wherever you are, however you are joining us, we'd like to say welcome, welcome, welcome. Help us to share the live videos so that others will join the program. Like you see in the description there, today we are looking at two things, right? Two things we are looking at. This gone Tuesday we were here and we talked about who is Dr. Clarence P. Moniba. What are some of those things he have done in the Liberian society? What are those things he have achieved as an individual, both privately as a private citizen and as a public citizen when he had the opportunity to serve the people of Liberia? What are those things he achieved? Because there is a common saying that says, to predict a man's future, you should look at his past, right? So we thought it was to dig deep into what are some of those things you've been doing over the years. So we talked about his life when he first started working at the Liberian embassy in the US, his achievement there. We talked about his work at the United Nations. We talked about his work at the World Bank. Right? We talked about his work. And we also talked about his work with the Liberian government. And we also talked about his work as a private citizen through the Moniba Foundation that was established since 2010. So since 2010, Dr. Clarence P. Moniba thought it was to establish the Moniba Foundation, where through the Moniba Foundation, lots of Liberians have benefited educationally when it comes to the agriculture, when it comes to the healthcare delivery system of our country. Dr. Clarence P. Moniba, through his weak way, have contributed a lot to those sectors through the Moniba Foundation. We'll have thousands of young people on his scholarship. Thousands of young people on the Moniba Foundation scholarship, both in Liberia and out of the country. We also talk about the Moniba Foundation giving out loan to market women, those people who want to do businesses, right, for the lowest rate ever. The Moniba Foundation giving loan to people because he saw the need, right, that our people, our market women, they are just doing from hand to mouth business. They do not have the money. So when they buy clay goods, before they finish selling, the money finish. So he thought it was to strengthen our market women through the Moniba Foundation, to give them loan. The next thing he have been doing is to help various health entities across the country, like the JFK, those various community clinics, where he donates materials, health materials, to those clinics and hospitals, the Tabeta hospitals. So these are things that Dr. Clarence P. Moniba have been doing since 2010. More than almost about 13 years now. About 13 years he has been involved into it. Making sure he wants to contribute to the forward march of the country. Making sure he wants his people to live a better life. So he has been contributing a lot. It might not be enough, but as an individual, it is very much enough. We talk about those things. As a private citizen, those things he has done. We also talk about his work in the government of Liberia. The 4 years he worked with the Eli Joseph Sirleaf-led administration. The 4 years he worked with the administration. He worked from 2014 to 2018. We'll talk about his work at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. Today we have the white playing facility. Through the instrumentality of many thanks to the former president Eli Joseph Sirleaf, who gave him the privilege to contribute to the development of the country. We have the white playing facility that were negotiated and they got completed before he left power. We talk about the Liberia Electricity Corporation, the LEC. Today we have the CLSG that's coming from La Côte d'Ivoire through the instrumentality of Dr. Clarence P. Moniba. Through his instrumentality, where he saw the need after he negotiated 250 million for the country. And he came to the country, it was intended to build new hydro. But then President Johnny Sirleaf saw the need of them repairing the old hydro. And it did. But at the current period, Moniba, he saw the need and he felt that although we have an hydro, but the hydro was not sufficient to supply the country. So he moved to CLSG to negotiate with them. Brought the idea to former President Johnny Sirleaf. She bought it. Today, we have the CLSG project in Liberia. We have the CLSG project in Liberia. We talk about his work as Minister of State without portfolio and head of the Presidential Delivery Unit. What are those things that he did? Talk about the new terminal at the Rufus International Airport that cost $50 million United States dollars. All thanks to the Chinese government. But through the instrumentality that the current president, he led our entire team and they went to China to negotiate. And today we have the new terminal. The Chinese, through his negotiation skill, saw the need to come and build new terminal for the Republic of Liberia. Liberians traveling in and out of the country are benefiting from the new terminal. they are benefiting from the new terminal. We talk about the ERW road, right? From Coca-Cola factory to ERW road. He negotiated that fund on behalf of the people and the government of Liberia. Although he's not satisfied with the way the road have been delayed, but at least it is almost finished. The road should have been completed since 2019. We'll talk about the Lofa from the Lofa road, right? The first phase of the Lofa road. We'll talk about that. Where Dr. Clarence P. Moniba negotiated that fund on behalf of the people and the government of Liberia. Today, the road is in progress. Although it's been delayed, but it's in progress. So we talk lots of things that Dr. Clarence P. Moniba have achieved through his work that he can boast of. Say these are tangibles when I was heading those various institutions. And Dr. Clarence P. Moniba have challenged, have called on this administration to audit the government that he worked in, beginning with his office. He said, I want an audit and let them start with my office. All those places that I worked, the time I spent there, let them start the audit from there. And he said, if anyone that will bring up any proof of corruption against me, Dr. Clarence P. Moniba will relinquish my quest for the presidency. I will drop out of the race. If anyone, including this administration, they are in power, they are in those offices, they have control of all of those documents. So he's clear, right? Dr. Clarence P. Moniba have been very much clear as to what are those things he wants to see happening for the people of Liberia. And these are the same thing that people are crying for. These are the same thing that people are crying for. That's why, for some of us, we remain unbending to support the agenda of Dr. Clarence P. Moniba, to support him until he reached the presidency, to lead Liberia into the prosperous nation that we all will be proud of. So these are things, when we were here on Tuesday, these are things that we talked about. These are things that we dealt with. And for some of you were very much impressed to know some of these things, because over the years you have not known these things. So when someone can serve at those positions and he achieved those things, imagine him being at the helm of authority over the nation, where he will have more power, where he will work at his will, pleasure. Imagine the kind of intangibles that Liberia will benefit from. The kind of economic policy that will transform the life of the people. Imagine the educational policy that will make sure that our young people achieve quality education. Imagine the agricultural policy that will make Liberia to grow her own food. Liberians will be able to feed themselves and feed other nations. These are things that the current spirit Moniba have been saying, that he's clear with what he wants to achieve as a president. So today we're going to be talking about two things, right? We're going to be looking at his educational policy and his agricultural policy. Two important sector of our country that is right now in a toilet, that has been forgotten by the current administration. If not forgotten, but then will you reject it? They did not forget, but they just reject it because of their selfish gain. Because they want to empower themselves, they and their family. They want to enrich themselves, they and their family. So folks, these are things that we're going to be talking about. So wherever you are, however you are joining us, help us to share a live video and tell us where you are watching. Let me go for a very short break. When I come back, then we will go into our talking point. Still can stay right there.
What would you do differently, and how would you do it? Not just what would you do, because part of what we're faced with, I must set the premise for you, is that people can. I would bear the overhead bridge. When you see that overhead bridge, Bali Island would be the city. You know that swamp. We got to fill it up first. They got to do all kind of studies, right? So it's like, what are you going to do differently, and how are you going to do it? Not when.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, and how are you going to do it differently? Help us here.
No, and honestly, thank you for that question. And I think that how is the most important thing, because you're right. Everybody who's running will say, "Oh, when I get there, I will do this, I will do that," and then when they get there, then it's another excuse. But I think the first thing that people have to be able to do when we are looking at all the presidential candidates, even when you go to a representative and senatorial level, is to be able to look at that person's history. What have they done? Um, and so, the first thing I say is I'm very proud to say that I've helped to negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars to this country. And not one single person will ever say in Liberia or anywhere around the world that Dr. Clarence Moniba stole one single dollar. So when talking about the how, the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to do it in a corrupt, free, and qualified and competent manner. That's the first way we're going to do the how. The second thing is, when I talk to people, I always tell people negotiate with the person who is sitting across the table from them. So I want the Liberian people who are watching this and who are listening to me to imagine somebody like me walking into a room and telling them I'm the president of the Republic of Liberia. And we are going to negotiate in good faith, but we are going to negotiate with a vision and the ability to implement. So I'll give an example. The Republic of Liberia, if we want to connect all of the county capital roads in this country and pave all of these dirt roads and mud roads all over the country, we need $2.5 billion to do so. So how I'm going to negotiate is I'm going to go to the World Bank, and I'm not going to be asking for the typical $120 million that we discuss. What we have to be able to do in this country is to leverage what every other country has, and that's the future potential of this country. The World Bank gives us $100 million every single year. And a lot of people don't know this. But in 2016, 2017, and 2018, our government, and I will give credit to, to a colleague of mine, Judy Moore, for even helping to come up with this idea. But we were the only country in the world that the World Bank was going to allow us to take credit on about $20 million. I mean, 20 years of investments. Every single year, the World Bank gives us about $100 million. That's about $2 billion worth of investments. We can take that type of money and invest it immediately into our economy and into our infrastructure sector, knowing that we have to pay $100 million every single year. If we don't pay it, the World Bank money diverts to the company that did the investment. If we could do something to that level, you already know and understand that within the first 6 years, we will be able to pave all of our county capital roads in the first 6 years. Then you do that same thing when you go to water facilities. You can go to the African Development Bank and do something similar. All I'm trying to say, without making it too complicated, is this. If somebody who can represent and negotiate in faith on behalf of the Liberian people, somebody like me, you will start to see that there's so much more foreign direct investment that comes into the country. You know, the whole world, money is not the problem in the world. It's somebody with a vision to go and get that money. And so when you talk about how, first, it will be corrupt free. Secondly, it will be to the point where we are ambitiously getting billions of dollars in this country and not $50 million, not $100 million. That is not going to transform the country that we want.
What would you do differently, and how would you do it? Not just what would you do, because part of what we're faced with, I must set the premise for you, is that people can. I was there, the overhead bridge. When you see that overhead bridge, Bali Island will be the city. You know that swamp, we got to fill it up first. They got to do all kind of studies, right? So it's like, what are you going to do differently? And how are you going to do it? Not when.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, and how are you going to do it differently? Help us here.
No, and honestly, thank you for that question. And I think that how is the most important thing, because you're right. Everybody who's running out will say, "Oh, when I get there, I will do this, I will do that," and then when they get there, then it's another excuse. But I think the first thing that people have to be able to do when we are looking at all the presidential candidates, even when you go to a representative and senatorial level, is to be able to look at that person's history. What have they done? Because I think that lays the premise for going to anything. And so, the first thing I say is I'm very proud to say that I've helped to negotiate hundreds of millions of dollars to this country. And not one single person will ever say in Liberia or anywhere around the world that Dr. Clarence Moniba stole one single dollar. So when talking about the how, the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to do it in a corrupt, free, and qualified and competent manner. That's the first way we're going to do the how. The second thing is, when I talk to people, I always tell people negotiate with the person who is sitting across the table from them. So I want the Liberian people who are watching this and who are listening to me to imagine somebody like me walking into a room and telling them I'm the president of the Republic of Liberia. And we are going to negotiate in good faith, but we are going to negotiate with a vision and the ability to implement. So I'll give an example. The Republic of Liberia, if we want to connect all of the county capital roads in this country and pave all of these dirt roads and mud roads all over the country, we need $2.5 billion to do so. So how I'm going to negotiate is I'm going to go to the World Bank, and I'm not going to be asking for the typical $120 million that we discuss. What we have to be able to do in this country is to leverage what every other country has, and that's the future potential of this country. The World Bank gives us $100 million every single year. And a lot of people don't know this. But in 2016, 2017, and 2018, our government, and I will give credit to, to a colleague of mine, Judy Moore, for even helping to come up with this idea. But we were the only country in the world that the World Bank was going to allow us to take credit on about $20 million. 20 years of investments. Every single year, the World Bank gives us about $100 million. That's about $2 billion worth of investments. we can take that type of money and invest it immediately into our economy and into our infrastructure sector, knowing that we have to pay $100 million every single year. If we don't pay it, the World Bank money diverts to the company that did the investment. If we could do something to that level, you already know and understand that within the first 6 years, we will be able to pave all of our county capital roads in the first 6 years. Then you do that same thing when you go to water facilities. You can go to the African Development Bank and do something similar. All I'm trying to say, without making it too complicated, is this. If somebody who can represent and negotiate in faith on behalf of the Liberian people, somebody like me, you will start to see that there's so much more foreign direct investment that comes into the country. You know, the whole world, money is not the problem in the world. It's somebody with a vision to go and get that money. And so when you talk about how, first, it will be corrupt free. Secondly, it will be to the point where we are ambitiously getting billions of dollars in this country and not $50 million, not $100 million. That is not going to transform the country that we want.
What would you
Okay, welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Yeah, so if you watch that very nearest one there from Dr. Clarence Bay Moniba, right? Where he was asked on his spoon talk how he intend, right? That he talks about paving every county capital in 6 years. We know it sounds big. Some people, they are doubting it, but you listen to his answer, how he intend. Sorry, folks. Let me connect this. How he intend to transform the infrastructure sector, the road, specifically the road. How he intend to implement his policy in building those roads, every county capital connected in 6 years. In 6 years. So these are things. These are things that he been saying. These are things that he been saying. So we'll first start with the agriculture sector, right? The agriculture sector. What is Dr. Clarence B. Moniba agricultural policy? Okay. What is his agricultural policy? It is important, right, for us to know these things. Now, some of those things that Dr. Clarence B. Moniba is saying in transforming the agriculture sector of the country, he have consistently said on his watch as president of the Republic of Liberia. Every county in this country is going to have something to grow, being monitored and supported by the government of the Republic of Liberia. Every county in this country will have a specific crop as you may to grow. They will not just wake up to say, oh, you want 2, 3, 4 year grain. No. There will be a soil testing, a feasibility study will be done. The soil testing will be done, and it will be scientifically known. It will be scientifically known that, for instance, Lofa, Nima, Sano, these are counties that are very much good in producing rice. River says, Grand Gidet, Maryland, these are counties that are very much good in producing cassava. Bong, the Magibi, these are counties that are very much good in producing maybe pepper. Right? So when the feasibility study shall have been done, then the government of Liberia will invest in those sectors, in those agricultural companies, right? Those private entities will invest into them so that they will be able to grow more food for the Republic of Liberia. For instance, a study was done during my study administration that Liberia will need at least $3 million United States dollars every year so that we will be able to grow our own food, to grow our own rice and feed ourselves. Same rice is our stable food. We need $3 million United States dollars every year for us to grow rice in this country to feed the citizens of the country. Someone might be thinking, 3 million is small. But the study was done. It was scientifically done. And science deals with facts. So now, the current administration is still told us that, oh yeah, they were subsidizing rice. We heard about 11 million, giving 11 million to the rice importers. So I was like, why is it that those people, they have those records that Liberia will need about 3 million every year? So if you can give 11 million to rice importers, why not you cannot take that take 3 million from those 11 million and invest it into the rice sector every year? That Liberia will be able to grow our own rice. But instead, you take the 11 million every year, you give it to rice importers. According to you, although the rice importers denied of ever receiving money from the government of Liberia. Since they denied the allegation, we have now heard the government of Liberia debunking the rice importers. They remain mute. So we need 3 million. So Dr. Clarence P. Moniba is telling us, right? Hey, when I am the president of the Republic of Liberia, after the feasibility study has been done, and we know those counties that can produce, that are very much good at producing rice, right? We know those counties. We will take at least 3 million, 3.5 million every year to invest it into the rice sector of the country, where we'll give those money to those farmers and enter a deal with them. We give it to them, they produce their rice, and we buy it back from them. While they are paying that, we are not giving it to them as free, we give them as loan. Maybe those 3 million, maybe they'll pay maybe 10 to 15 years time. So the 3 million, when they produce the rice every year, government of Liberia buy it and give it on the market to those sellers. Then those sellers will sell it on the market so that rice will be on the market for the people. So instead of you spending 11 million on rice importers, we'll be producing our own rice in this country and we'll be able to feed ourselves. That's what Dr. Clarence Moniba is saying. So every year, Liberia spend about 250 million on importing rice into this country. So that means the 250 million will not be leaving the economy of Liberia, but instead 250 million will remain in Liberia, because all those money now will be just circulating in the country from our farmers to the buyers. It will just be circulating. So all of those US will not be leaving the economy. Those US will remain in the economy, and guess what? When it's happening that way, we'll have more US in the country. Imagine Liberia every year, those 200 million is not leaving, it's remaining in the country every year. So we'll have more US in the country. So the issue that has to do with the rate going up, it will not be like the way it is. There will be a level of stability in the exchange rate, because we will have US in the country being circulated. 200 million being circulated in the economy. They will not be going out for importing rice anymore. So we'll have 200 million in the economy. So the rate will not increase. There will be some level of stability in the exchange rate. So when there is some level of stability in the exchange rate, therefore you will get to know that the prices of things will remain stable at some level. At some level, the prices of commodities, right, will remain stable at some level, because the more the exchange rate goes up, that the more thing prices goes up. So if the exchange rate is stable, you observe the prices of things will be stable. Therefore, it will alleviate at least the suffering of the people, because the prices of things will not be going up. Things will not be getting expensive anymore. It will be at least stable, because we have more US in the country and the rate will be stable. But because we do not have more US in the country, so the exchange rate is not stable. Then we do not have enough US. The liberty is more than the US. So for that reason, we put in more liberty beyond the few US. So the rate will continue increasing, because of the failure of our government to do the thing that needed to be done. So that's just one side when it comes to agriculture. Only rice we're talking about here. Only rice we're talking about here when it comes to Dr. Clarence Wilmer, what he has been saying. What he has been saying. So imagine every year, the study shows that every year Liberia spends 2 million on importing pepper into this country. So imagine we have counties that are growing pepper, right? And government invests into the pepper sector of the country. So those 2 million will not be leaving. Those 2 million will remain in the country again. We go to beta ball, we go to cassava, all those sectors. So all those things that we can be importing, we will not import them. We will not import them. Instead, it will remain in the country. That is the vision of Dr. Clarence Moniba. So as the result, in all of those sectors, there will be job creation. When people talk about job creation in the agricultural sector, people feel that maybe everybody will just go take license or to go on the farm. No. In the agricultural sector, you need secretary, you need communicator, you need PRO, right? You will need a business manager. So the agriculture sector has everything. Those people that are the finance, accounting, they need to be there. So in every sector, you observe that there will be job creation in the agriculture sector. the more that we invest into the agriculture sector, that the more job creation we will have in every part of the country, in every field. So therefore, we will start empowering our farmers. We will start getting millionaires in the country. The life of the people will start to improve because they will have job to do. Mind you, a man getting a job to do, then exchange rate is stable. Things price is not increasing. That man will be one of the happiest men because he will be able to pay his children's school fee. He will be able to feed his family, and he will be able to save. These are things that Dr. Clarence P. Moniba is telling the people of Liberia. He said, these are things that we need to do. And since he announced his president, that he's contesting for the presidency, he has been consistent in what he wants to achieve. So you should know that he really means it for truth. That's the reason why he has been consistent saying it. He has not been jumping. He has been very much consistent. That is how he intends to transform the agriculture sector with government. Who can we say that will be waiting for World Bank to give money to our people? Imagine if we have about 700 million budget now. So if we can get at least 50 million to go to farmers, not to pay workers, people at the agriculture side, no, we're not talking about. We talk about money to be invested into farmers, at least 50 million from that 700 plus budget, 700 plus million budget. Liberia collapse. Do we think the country will collapse? At least 50 million to go to various sectors in the agriculture. Various sectors in the agriculture. The pepper, the rubber, all of those sectors. Investing in our people. And you are not giving it to them. He gives it to them as loan where they will pay in 8 to 10 years, 15 years time. They will pay. They will pay. So as the result, we will have a better agriculture sector, and the life of the people will start to improve because they will have better jobs. They will have better jobs, and when they have better jobs, they'll be able to send their children to school. They'll be able to send their children to hospitals, and they'll be able to feed their family. The prices of things will not increase because we will have enough United States in the country that will prevent the US rate from hacking. These are things that Dr. Clarence P. Moniba have been consistently saying. He has been very much consistent in saying it. These are things that he wants to achieve. But right now in Liberia, as soon as we have problem with the issue of rest, maybe rest shortage when the importer get vexed, today they shut down they close their store. They used to open for 1 week. The entire country by running head of scatter. Then we go to Freeport. Now we're looking on the sea to see when we Japan or India send rest for us to eat. While we have all of the land beyond us. While we have all of the land beyond us, but we're looking on the sea for Japan rest. We're looking on the sea for India rest, for Chinese rice. Look, fellow Liberians, this is the time. This is the time that we all will look up for the new Liberia. And this new Liberia is only possible with Dr. Clarence Bay Moniba. Because he has the technical know-how how to transform every sector of our country bit by bit. He has the technical know-how. So it's not going to sit for one minister to come and tell him, say, oh, this thing is not possible in working. Because he knows that he has worked in other countries. It is possible it's working in other countries. That means it is possible and he can work in Liberia. It is possible and it can work in the country. These are things that we need to be telling our people. But today, instead we get people talking about phase of 1, rescue 1, rescue 2, phase of 2, broom 1, broom 2. Instead of them telling the Liberian people what they would do. Some saying the administration, they're talking about the whole you can count on, the whole you can trust. Is that an agenda for the people to listen to? And we are being fooled, we are being carried away by those things. Who will have the best slogan? Who has the best slogan? Slogan cannot put food on your table. It cannot send your children to school. Slogan cannot when your children get sick, cannot send them to hospital. Today something we're running at hope for change. Hope for change. Today where hope for change is carrying us. Today we have the worst health system. Where if when you go to hospital, you do not even find tablets. So today the entire education system is in a toilet. We are graduating students right now, 12th grade time reaching. Facebook can be flooded with speeches of 12th graders. And we sometimes we make fun of it, but it is serious. It is damaging our country. Where people are graduating from high school and they do not even know how to read and write. That's the kind of country we have. People graduating from high school, they do not even able to stand before their family member to compose a simple sentence or to even say a simple sentence. This is the kind of country we have. It can be all on Facebook the way we of course graduation is coming. We'll be joking, we'll be laughing with it, sharing all around. But it is destroying our country. The entire educational system is in the toilet. And nothing is being done to revive the sector. Nothing is being done to revive the sector. We are into elections period. The only thing we are hearing are slogan. I don't want to hear you. Slogan. Rescue 1, yeah. Rescue 2, yeah. Rescue man, yeah. Rescue empty, yeah. Phase of 1, yeah. Phase of 2, broom 1. The whole you can trust. Is that what that will better the educational system of our country? And for some of the young people, I feel sorry for us. Especially if I see people that I expect, right, should be very much rational in their analysis. Joining people who they should be mentoring to be saying all of those funny things. Sometimes it pains me. I feel sorry. I feel very much sorry. Because Liberia is heading nowhere. Nowhere we are heading to. We are just in a circulating. That's all we are. We are heading nowhere. We are just circulating one place. Years after years. And someone that has come to change the dynamics into politics, that is telling you, it gives you a clear vision of the transformation of the state. But we are not paying attention to it. We're going for our where my politicians, those ancient days politicians, the traditional politicians that have filled this country. Those traditional politicians that have massively looted and filled this country. The only people that have benefited is they and their family. They and their family that have benefited from the state. But these are people that we are running behind because they will probably give you $10, $5. Forgetting to know that those people are preparing their children to come. They are sending their children to better schools in foreign countries. Those children are attending better healthcare system. Those children are eating the best of food. But we are running behind them. If we don't go eat expired food, we go eat cold storage, ratty cold storage things. Food that shouldn't be in the country. These are things that we are eating. Because probably they give you $10, $5. Or we allow people come, they cajole you. This is the time that we, the young people, we prioritize what that should be prioritized. And that thing is our future, the future of the state. Look around, look at neighboring country, every country in the West. The young people are taking charge of their country. They are saying to the older folks, hey, the time that you people have been leading this country, the time has expired. You people will not make, you will only say to advise with the young people. But to make decision for us, we will not do that. We ourselves we will take our future into our own hands. And these are things other young people in other countries they are doing. But in Liberia, we are still allowing those traditional politicians to cajole us because they have $10, $5, they have rest for us. Look, we better be careful and mindful of our future. Because like I can always say, history has a way of judging everyone. Either you be judged the positive side or you be judged the negative side. History will record every one of us, the role we played in the transformation of this country. When you were trade the future of the state because someone gave you $10, because someone gave you $20, history has a way of recording you. If you will put the interest of the state above anything, history has a way of recording you. That's why we the young people, we have to take our future into our own hands. Look around you here. Look at other countries. You will see that majority of those countries, they have presidents, leaders that are in the 40s. Someone that has the energy to move. Some of us say we Christian. Look, check from Genesis to Revelation. Check from Genesis to Revelation. And tell me which one of the king that God called or God anointed when he was in his 70, 80 years. Show me one. God always dealing with the young generation. The people that owns the generation. These were the kind of people that God was making leader. But in Liberia, everything was the opposite. So you have a man who is still giving a clear path to transforming the education, the agriculture sector of the country that will lead to job opportunity, that will lead to the vaporousness of our economy. We don't want those people. We want people that will bring spoken to us. This is the time. And the man of the moment is that of Clarence Moniba. He is the man of the moment. He is the man that has a very clear vision for this country in every sector. Look at the audio that the video I just played, where he talks about the infrastructure, specifically the road. How Liberia need to build, to connect all of our county capitals in 6 years. Some people say it's impossible. And the mayor had given you clear vision how he intends to accomplish it. Go ask Joseph Newman Parker. I tell you how you want to connect the 15 county capitals. Then he give you clear vision. He has nothing to tell you. Go ask President Weah. He has nothing to tell you. They have nothing to tell you. But this man is telling you, this guy is telling you, hey, the statistic has shown that Liberia needs at least between 2.5 billion to 3 billion to connect all of our counties, capitals with paved road. Not just open road, but paved road with quota. We need at least between 2.5 billion to 3 billion. And he has said to accomplish this particular agenda. Hey, right now the World Liberia get at least 100 million for World Bank. We get every year we get at least 100 million to World Bank for every sector. So like I said in the agriculture sector, if you are investing in the agriculture sector, so you not need World Bank now to send money to the agriculture sector. Because your government is already investing in that sector to improve the life of the people and the farmers. So why World Bank getting out 100 million every year, giving out 100 million? We have thousands of companies, infrastructural companies that are willing to pre-finance works in various countries to build roads, bridges, and other things. Go and negotiate with those companies. Tell them, hey, come and build 3 billion worth of road into Liberia. And we will pay you in the next 20 years or 30 years. When you get it, you go to World Bank. Hey, World Bank, the 100 million you are giving us. The 100 million you are giving us. Do not send it to various sectors. Give it to us. If people send it to those companies, the particular company is coming to build the road are worth at least 3.5 billion. Send that particular money to in our company account every year. When we negotiating with World Bank, the company is building 3 billion worth of road into Liberia, connecting various counties. Every year, the World Bank 100 million is sent to Liberia. That particular money will transfer to that particular company as their payment. So 100 million times 20 years at 2 billion. Times 30 years, you'll be able to pay the 3 billion. So just as you told this company, right, that you'll be able to pay them 30 billion in 30 years time, you will be able to complete it, because in fact, it will not even come from your budget. It will be coming from World Bank. So in 30 years time, World Bank pay 30 billion for you. But in 6 years time, you have all of your county capitals connected with modern roads. In 6 years time. Yes, somebody come and tell me, say, it cannot be achieved. Let someone come and tell me that these things cannot be achieved. But you know what? These things, they have, those other ancient day parties, they do not have the idea in how to implement those things. So they do not talk about it. Some very few community rail that do not even have economic benefit. We're talking about roads that will have economic benefit. That when Oma in Lofaka, they should finish harvesting or pepper, it will not leave with her to get rotting. She will bring it to town and be sold, so that she'll be able to send her children to school, so she will feed her family and buy her lapa to diet. The Oma, where they're in Grand Cook County, right now the entire southeast here are colored from the rest of the country. Because Baru. So when you have a president like Dr. Clarence P. Moniba, who has such vision, when he should have achieved those things, what happens? The Oma, where they're in Grand Jida, in Grand Jida County, she bring her plenty. It'll never really get right in. Maybe 1-2 days time already in town. Maybe so she gone back. She'll be happy to farm more, because why? Her schools is not spoiling. But right now the farmers, they are not encouraged, because when they make the few product they are getting, it's really when they're spoiling, the children eating it, or they distributing it foods. Because we do not have no good roads. And some believe you committed road right, Barrow medicine. You Barrow medicine, go to school, go face your own Grand Cook County road, they will know you Barrow medicine. When you face Grand Cook County road, we know you Barrow medicine. Go face Rosa Road, we know you Barrow medicine. Go see River Access Road now. But they do not have the idea on those things. They lack the idea. And we have somebody who have the idea, who have worked with people that have succeeded in their country. And he taking those same things and bringing it, he want to bring it to Liberia. And we say they may not popular. That popularity will transform Liberia. That popularity will build the educational sector of our country. That popularity will build the economy of our country. Where right now the economy is in a separate thing. Liberians, we need to come to our senses. We need to come to our senses. So I just the agriculture part I've talked about here. And I'm tapping into the rule, right? And you see the proper is the probability of it happening. You see, it's glaring. It's glaring that it can happen. It is glaring that it can happen. So what are we waiting for? This is the time that we tied our belts. We fasten our seat belts. Join the movement for the New Liberia. Join the Moniba voluntary partners. Those people that are moving around the country day and night, spreading the message of a New Liberia. Join it. Be part of history making. So that you'll be recorded on the positive side of history. So that your children will be proud of you there, that my dad, my mom struggle for the cause of a better Liberia. Today, drugs have taken over the entire country. Our people are dying. Our young people are dying. The president don't care. The government don't care. In fact, they are the ones supporting those people good to go into the habit. When they're having small activity, they give them money to go carry on their activity. Instead of them strategizing how to take the people from the street, rehabilitate them. Look at Senator DeLong. In a few days, the major granted some of the students. For a batch of those people at the area there. See those young people speaking. You see them speaking, go bomb will come on your skin. Your body will creep. People that were dying from drugs. See how eloquent they were. Or they are.